I'm Chylli from channel Chylli, also known as Chai, and today we are continuing Lobotomy Corporation, day 38, and we are going to be beginning with Tiphereth's core suppression. We are going to reload until we get a green midnight because I'll be able to handle that one way easily. Anyway, yeah, this day should be very easy, honestly. Okay, this is a little annoying. They keep rolling around. I don't remember. Do I need to complete 10 or do I need to just get to 10? And I also have the Midnight Ordeal Ego mod on, so I can get the egos for completing Midnight's figure. That's a little extra incentive there. Enoch, have you ever heard of the Nest? I hear they throw a festival every single day there. I want to dance, Enoch. I want to stomp my feet and let happiness take over my body. Lisa, if you take a bit of time to look around here, it's quite nice too. But we aren't allowed to go anywhere. Karma just wants us to keep us confined here. She's a good person. I hope you'll open up to her soon. I don't want to get to know anyone else. All I want is to be with you. I can't promise to be next to you forever. There's a lot of things that I've been mulling over for quite some time, and I thought I may find some answers for them here. Some of my thoughts may be so absurd that the answers to them might not exist at all. Or even if the answers do exist, they might vanish too soon. But in the process of searching for those answers, I will be able to cast off my shell. Then I can fly away at last, leaving my heavy body behind. Sometimes I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't know where you want to go, but promise that you'll take me with you, Enoch. Oh, Wei is here. I guess we gotta go now. It's gonna get dark and cold soon. Let's head inside. Yeah, soon. Soon cold days will come. Even though I never had thought of them as family or someone that I needed to care for, I'm in my job to bring the children back home to ease Carmen's busy schedule. I see them, these young kids running toward me, those children who survived the outskirts, the two we saved. I thought I could do it all on my own. I wanted to show Tiphereth how mature I became when he got back one day. But there was no end to the disappointment, and Tiphereth never got any better. I couldn't stand the silence without an answer, so I thought that I'd rather hide my disgust and guilt I was so used to, as if the feelings never existed in the first place. But whenever I see Tiphereth's empty smile, that my heart feels as if it were being covered in dark ash while scattered into millions of pieces. I knew Tiphereth could never go back to how we used to be. I was aware that we could never return to the happy days we spent together. But I was about to abandon Tiphereth just because it was too hard for me to endure. All while knowing that he was the one who suffered the most. Tiphereth, are you done with all your busy work? We're going to be late. Let's get going. The sun will set soon. Please, hurry, Lisa. Right, my name was Lisa once. Tiphereth doesn't remember his name anymore, but from time to time he calls me by my cast-off name. What did Tiphereth really want out of all this, even after sacrificing himself? What was he waiting for, even when he was being discarded? Was it all worth it to him? I don't know. I've never ever held any expectations in my life, but I'll try counting on you now. I want to believe that there's a reason for every sacrifice that was made, and to know that eventually everything will be okay. The expectation for the meaning of existence, 50% germination of the seed of light. I had wanted to free myself from the pain, but I realized it was impossible. It was only recently that I found my answer. It is that I have to accept the pain as something I've borne from the beginning, that I can be set free. Manager, if you are suffering too, just take in the pain and accept it. You don't have to keep changing things if it's too hard for you. I know you want to keep pressing on in any way possible. You felt lost and scared of the present, so all you could do was blindly trace along the way through the dark. I admire such determination at first, but now you look so pathetic. How long do you think you can keep this up? Will you ever make it to the end? Shortly after I was born, I questioned myself daily about the significance and the meaning of my creation. He handed me the script and gave me the answer. They say the narrator plays an important role in unraveling the plot. Well, thank you. It was so much fun reciting your script. So much so that I was able to find my raison d'etre without noticing to the time fly by. Sometimes I have these thoughts. What if the script is part of a play that's missing its finale? Maybe you prepared a play that could never end just so you could tie me into this knot. If so, would it be appropriate for me to disobey your orders and obtain my own free will for the first time? Do you think this dialogue was part of the script, or was it born of my own free will? As you find them been quoted in life, fierce fights break out every day here. You've seen this innumerable times now. With every time, abnormalities come back to life, no matter how many fragments they're broken into. It's one of the facts that drove Gabura mad. She took far too much time to understand that the abnormalities have to be exploited, not ended. Or maybe she simply couldn't free herself from the indignation of the past. Well, that doesn't concern me. The only thing I know is that I will never ever see what she was before. Nevertheless, I can't help but be astonished by the potential of ego every time I see her go on a rampage. Extracting ego is one of my multitudes of duties. It's only natural that I am drawn to its potential. In fact, there are many weapons that have enormous power in the world apart from ego. Artifacts from the outskirts and from the ruins, the singularities of the wings are rudimentary inventions made in the backstreets. If used correctly, they would be weapons I could fare against abnormalities somehow. But giving those weapons to employees that never even learned how to fight outside of basic training is as useless as teaching a hatchling to hunt. The rabbits are specialized in killing. They can spot the enemy's weakness right away and focus their firepower, given that they have enough munitions. as opposed to our employees who cannot even wield weapons efficiently. Matt seeing as combat ability isn't a requirement to be hired here. But our employees don't even have to learn how to use ego. The power of the ego grows in conjunction with the heart of the wielder. One knows how to use it the moment they wield it. Nevertheless, even though they wield the power, the majority of employees can't control it. Swayed by it, they hardly have a chance against the abnormalities. I haven't seen anyone that can drive the true potential of ego apart from the Red Mist. To wield ego is to dress oneself in the shell of the ego of another person. The wielder is merely imitating the borrowed ego and able to completely make the power their own. Had I known that before being locked up here, I would have done anything to get my hands on them. If I could, the circumstances may have changed dramatically. Now I'm confined here, issuing orders to extract ego, forbidden from touching them myself. You must have been scared still, even knowing my hatred and bloodthirst are locked inside this rusted metal cage. Don't you worry, I no longer have anything left. But you never know, the yearning for blood could wax once again, for it is simply sealed, not uprooted. So this last Helix weapon from the mod basically functions like Tiphereth shoots his magic bullet. Alright, and now all we have to do is release sensor. shit, we probably need a reload now. I'm stupid, I completely forgot Burrowing Heaven was even there. Not my brightest move, I completely forgot that was there. Alright, now all we need to do is harvest a lot of energy and we are good to go. Oh, I was recalling the sound of your footsteps. While there were cliches, you sometimes made the results more exciting by acting in unexpected ways. Still, the endings were all the same, no matter how the process went. Do you want me to share some memories through a hologram? It's simply too good for me to watch alone. This here was you in a mess when there was no such thing as a cognition filter. I didn't know that a human's mental capacity could be so weak back then. You did alright the first couple times, but then one day... Well, at that time it was a little funny. I'm sorry, you made it so far, but you weren't able to escape from that absolutely useless sense of guilt and hung yourself. Well, you were stopped immediately, though. Then at this time, you're not fully prepared. That's when I started to realize that it didn't matter if you were mentally whole or not. What mattered was that you needed to find realization about something to stop this endless cycle. At this time here, all of a sudden you began apologizing to me. I didn't enjoy it. Are you starting to enjoy this? I would love to see more, but let's stop here for today. You might see something you're not supposed to witness yet if we continued. Listen, I know Lobotomy Corporation is an important client and all, but don't you guys renew the contract too often? This place is so grimy, it's like a dungeon. I always get a bad vibe. Please hold on for a moment, Rabbit Captain. We need to explain what we're doing to the manager. He still doesn't know who I am. Go on and explain it quickly, then. This must be the first time you'll be participating in a meeting with an outside party manager. As was mentioned a few times prior, our company has initiated contracts with some of the other wings for sustainable development and business opportunities. It's also my job to renew those contracts with our associate wings when the moment arises. All that is needed from you is to be our token manager and present yourself in that role. I shall handle the rest of the formalities and procedures. Associate wing? What's with all the boring introduction? You may feel free to provide more detailed information at a later time in private, Meow. For now, let's start on the meeting. Speaking of, would you be so kind to remove your helmet, at least for the duration of the meeting? You're kidding, the helmet is the whole identity of the rabbits. Well, fine, it's whatever. I just gotta be brief. The content of the contract from my end, right? I just gotta brief the content of my contract from my end, right? I mean, I'm sick of reading this out over and over. You can just look at the contract for the whole damn thing. Do I really have to say it one more time? As I informed you prior, as part of the formal procedure, I myself have to specify whether or not you agree to the terms again. Still strict as ever, aren't you? Allow me to explain our services first. Company R will provide military support and protection from all external threats to Company L. Every branch of Lobotomy Corporation will be included under the term Company L. However, there will be certain exceptions where a branch may not be considered under the designation. Well, I see exceptions, but we're willing to let it slide unless it involves the head or the eye. Company L will provide the energy Company R needs to maintain its operation. This renewal process also includes a prerequisite that invokes a mutual and continual agreement between Company W and Company L. And let me see, Company L will provide all specialized ammunition utilized for the killing of abnormalities. All Rabbit Team members will have their memories erased after the completion of their mission. There will be no questions or concerns raised about the peculiarity of the facilities or purposes of the location. And finally, I, as captain of the Rabbit Team, will deploy my team following Company R's guidelines and assume the role of command for operations taking place in this facility. That should be everything. Look through the written contract for the finer details. There's been no change in the agreement with Company W. Along with that, the renewal period will be 1 year, just as before. Yeah, sure, it's 1 year for you, but okay then. On a side note, can you please do something about the teleporter that make the process a bit smoother? It feels like my body's being taken apart piece by piece and thrown out a window. I'm afraid you'll need to ask Company W about that. It's out of our control. Gavura, why do you have such an expression? Why are little bunnies being let out of their cages and dispatched here of all places? You must really not know a thing if you're looking down on the rabbits. It's already been concluded that the rabbits are the most fit for the honorable task of slaughtering in this place. The rhinos would most certainly smash this entire place beyond recognition, and the reindeer, with the exception of the machines that work here, would cause irreversible damage to Mr. Manager over there. Miss Angela made it explicitly clear to not hurt or affect the manager. We always pay special attention to our clients' requests. I'm not talking about your damn rhinos or deer. I'm saying that we can handle our own problems. We don't need any outsiders to interfere. What's that? What can you do with that flimsy tin body of yours? You seem much weaker than us now, can't you see that? And if you were like how you were once back in the day, then maybe it'd be a different story. But look at you now. As soon as you set foot in the back streets, you'll be torn limb from limb by those sweepers. The old days when you shredded everything before you into a red mist is now lost to the past. Things have changed. You should realize that. If I wanted to, I could tear up a tiny rabbit like you in seconds. Please, everyone, we need to focus on the topic at hand. Gabura, our agreement with the Rabbit Team is to help us be prepared for the worst-case scenario that will be beyond our own abilities. I'm certain that you've learned this from your experiences with previous suppressions. The combat skills of the mercenaries sent to us by Company R are on par with those of the other wings. We can handle our own problems on our own perfectly fine. I can prove it right here and now if you want. I have compiled the statistics. The amount of data is too vast for any person to calculate, with my exception, of course. The reason I continue to contract the rabbits is the risk of involving outsiders fails to the potential of our own worst-case scenarios. They're worth every penny. However, the rabbits will not interfere with general suppressions. Please, calm down and analyze the situation reasonably, Gavura. That should be all for renewing our contract. Gavura is the one in charge of the basic suppression process. So if you need any advice or help regarding combat, just ask her. I'm afraid I don't have a single itty-bitty question for you. We rabbits have our own way of handling things. Nor do I have anything left to say to you, filthy animals. You've done your business, now how about you bunny hop away now? You're being so harsh to a fellow native of the backstreets. You wanna happen to be mad at me because I made fun of you earlier, are you? Don't act like you know me. I'm not in the mood for your stupid games, so just shut up. I get it now. You're mad because you feel we interrupt your fights, aren't you? Yeah, I don't need any help from the likes of you. Well, it's not like we're here for a greater cause or some ulterior motive. We'll just drop by quickly when we're called and vanish without a trace, just the same when it's time. I thought you were just like me, finding joy in the slaughter, but as it turns out, you're just crazy. A complete wacko. We are the rabbits who hop around following orders to find fresh patches of grass, but you're different. You used to know who you were supposed to fight, who your enemy was. You wouldn't believe how shocked I was to find you. I never expected to see the fabled hero like, well, this, and in a drab basement, too. The hero I remember was someone who wasn't afraid of shedding blood to protect others with all her might. Please don't taint the fond memories I have of you. All the abnormalities have broken out. Everyone here is done for. Dead, all of them. Probably, there won't be any survivors left. Abnormalities aren't something we can handle on our own. You're in danger too, ma'am. You best escape now. Bura, I'm going to take part in an experiment pretty soon. We'll probably see each other again, but just in case, I want to say one thing. Please take good care of Isabel and my little Gilly while I'm gone. Are abnormalities able to feel human emotions when confronted with a person of close relation? What choice would they make when faced with such a situation? The experiment seemed to have yielded the expected results. Excuse me, Lady Angela, what should I do with these? There's a blanket and a few feeding bottles left. I've gotten all the results I needed from this experiment. The owners are no more, so you can simply discard them. Oh, did you shut down or what? I really should be going. Well, I don't think next time we meet we'll be on such calm waters. The rabbits will leave now. I'm definitely not the hero. Never have been and never will be. Erstwhile, the world in which he stayed was luminous. There was the sun and moon, and also the clouds and winds that floated around them. It was a world of light, so to speak. But you couldn't stay there. You were robbed of innumerable things. You lived with a broken heart, clinging to the void where pieces of your heart used to be. No one could understand your pain nor embrace you. Eternal loss dominated you. I was one of the thieves who robbed you of countless things. While I was at the top of the world, I watched you and looked down on your struggle. Not just you. I have seen many things that others have struggled. Those attempts were no less futile than an insect writhing. All I had to do was simply stomp on them a couple times. But amongst them, there were some who would grit their teeth and climb up, dragging their broken bodies. It seemed like this was going to be another fun little trip, so I would drink a cup of tea before leaving with light steps. But as you can see, an unexpected encounter with the red mist got the best of me. And then you inflicted as much suffering upon me as I did to you, did you not? You were familiar with how to break the mind without utilizing torture or violence. After everything was done, you gathered up every little bit of what was left of my humanity, and then you threw them into this pit until even my spirit has soured and rotted. None of you told yourself that I deserved worse than that, therefore you're an upholder of justice who's defeated the evil now. Then I must ask, why is it that grand and righteous upholder is standing here making himself out as a prisoner like I? And what happened with that coward, the one who fear averted his gaze upon my dying one? Why is he down here suffering the same punishment as I? See, there cannot be sight more satisfying than this for me. Is this all that idealism of hers came to be? You're dragging down your heroine with your own hands. Do you truly believe that your duty completes itself just for shedding tears at the funeral of the innocent? Well, you never even let their bodies rest in peace. Ironically, you found a hope in all this misery. The raw material of the bucket and the path of the river of all. Out of her you made the bucket, and you started to send it down into the wells of the people. The bucket rises from the well of a person filled with the water that can only be drawn by that person. An ancient fountain that has been flowing at the bottom even before the birth of the world. Now it simply is drawn regardless of the consent of the person. When the bucket that holds the fated ideal of hers comes in contact with the ego of another person, a certain change occurs. Maybe it's difficult to understand only by listening. How about this? I could show you one of her miracles. It's taxing, but for you, I'll gladly do it. The people selected long ago are waiting their turns. I bring them here according to the register. Let me introduce you. This one is nameless. He has nothing left, for he has abandoned all that he is long time ago. For him, things like the remnants of the past or the pain of the present don't matter. He only stares into the future. Did he dream well? Yes, he finally dreamed for as long as he won, one that you will never wake up from. The employees will inject him with cogito soon. What river flows in you? What world lies in you? There are so many worlds as there are people. Discovering them is rather fun. No one must see this. That is why they adjust the level of cogito according to my orders, keeping their eyes and ears covered. Nobody should make direct eye contact with the drawn, but I can never dare to look away from him or to close my eyes, no matter how unbearable it may be. In the eyes of the drawn, there are the abyss that only I can endure, and there are the things that shouldn't exist in this world. This is the punishment that you've obligated me to endure. A normal person would have gone mad thousands of times over if they had to put up with this. Thanks to you, I cannot even be graced with insanity or lose my mind. All I can do is capture all of it in my eyes. Now we wait. Will it rise anew, or will it be destined to be stuck in this pillar and spend eternity with me down in this place? We just need a little more time to find out. Now, do you finally realize what all these pillars contain? Well, consider yourself lucky today. At times when the level of Kagyo is adjusted inadequately, some things that shouldn't exist come up as fragments. How funny that I say this, with it like an adverse reaction that has its price for doing something unspeakable to a human being. The bucket can rise with some impurities mixed in with what we usually draw, such as the abyss within humanity, the subconscious, and all kinds of possibilities. From the past, from the present, even from the future, all kinds of beings that have existed and will exist in this world. Given that they're outside our dominion, there's nothing we could do to govern them. They float around namelessly, resonating with the abnormalities and manifesting themselves in front of us when the moment comes. They're what you call the ordeals. Thankfully, they react to the cliff-op deterrent so we can put them to sleep like the abnormalities, but that's all we're able to do. Yes, as you have learned, extracting abnormalities is my job, but creating them is Carmen's, who you've buried a long time ago. She is the mother of all abnormalities that have existed in this facility and all that will emerge in the future. Tell me, how do you feel now that you know that those abnormalities that you faced above were part of these pillars? It's an agonizing sight to confront, but it doesn't matter to you, not at all, or am I wrong? After all, erasing your memories and running away from them as if nothing had happened is your age-old specialty. Suppressing another midnight ordeal is going to be a bit annoying. Anyway, yeah, that was a bit of a longer video today, but yeah, I'm gonna leave it off here. So if you made it this far, thank you for watching, and next time we will complete a midnight ordeal and maybe do some more missions here. So yeah, until then, I'll see you next time. Bye!